was the whole Leia thing. I think the scenes and how they were directed and how they were created were superior, but for some reason, every time Leia talked, she said like the least, she always responded with the least important issue. Like, they were all talking about this and that, and her response was, oh, well, you can never trust a droid, or you can never underestimate a droid, things like that. If they wanted Leia and the pre-recorded content to be in the movie, they should have had more scenes where everything she says kind of makes sense. Because every time she says something or talks, it's kind of like a little jab. The second thing that kind of annoyed me was Finn. He comes from a likable person in the last two movies. And there's just something just annoying in this one. I don't know. I think it's his hair. It's his wannabe little hair that's trying to be trendy. And if you really wanted to make a real Star Wars character, and this isn't about African Americans, because I think how they depicted Lando Calrissian was very respectable, very thematic. But depicting a young African American with a depiction that is recognized as the lower end of African American culture was a bad idea. It's just going to make white people more racist. Um, the, the third thing was that whole Kylo Ren near the end in the third act of the movie. I kind of see how they would direct it in that type of fashion. But it kind of like happened too quickly. Kind of like with Anakin Skywalker, he went from pointing a lightsaber at the face of all evil to killing children in like 10 minutes. In this one, all it took was a memory of his father and a voice in his head of his mother, and that's it. The fourth minor annoyance was about how the movie was paced. Like, they wanted to get two different movies with two different plots into the same movie. Both movies 2.5 hours long. So it feels like every single scene in the movie is like, each scene is like 30 seconds and has like 15 things going on. Or like something very important, and the scene only happens for 30 seconds, and then we move on to something, twice as important, as goes with the formula of writing a space opera. But the most annoying thing, the movie was really good, even though all my minor problems just caters to the fifth problem. The new generation of Star Wars fans. Not that they're whiny brats, but the ones that, in the millennial and people younger than me and around my age group, doesn't get the concept of it, and they just want to turn it into something popular, I don't know. I grew up with Star Wars, and I don't get that mentality. But overall, it was way better than the prequel trilogy because it goes back into the more authentic side. It goes back into the political. Because if I remember right, in the original trilogy there was a perfect balance between dialogue, theme, action sequences that were brilliantly set up by models of starships, models of lightsabers, and all that, and merging that with political themes. And that's what makes the sequel trilogy far more superior than the prequel trilogy. And it's better, way better than the prequels, because honestly, it was kind of like a discombobulated mess. They wanted it to act like a cartoon, like for kids, but then have like unbalanced political segments. And yeah, but the problem with the new trilogy though is the fans are no longer divided really. But the new fans have less interest and less passion about the series than the last. Because at least the last fan base of the original 6 movies understood how the whole process of whiteboarding, uh, coming up with a first draft, whiteboarding events, how they implemented thematic quality, and how that Star Wars was treated like a piece of art. And it seems like with the new ones, it kind of like with every single movie, they pulled plot twists out of their ass, and it was all just about fan hype. I don't know, and none of the fans really care anymore about the movies. Um, every single scene, everybody used to talk about. Ooh, remember that one scene, that one filmed scene with all these frames, with these specific frames, and how George Lucas came back and twisted it or something like that. I don't really see that anymore. Not at all. With every single new installment of Star Wars, I just see something getting more and more trendy. They're trying to pull twists that are more and more trendy. First, it was the freaking BB-8, and then it became those. What were the seagull things called? I don't know. But all those plush toys for the seagulls, and then what was it? Oh, like stuff like Finn's new swaggy hair, and Palpatine, and every nook and cranny is just filled with something like that.